appeal to Nigerians, even if it means kneeling down, asking them to be a little patient. If it means kneeling down to them, we will kneel. The Parliament is calling on Nigerians. Please, bear with the government a little longer.
Mr. Speaker, I'm a comrade. Anytime we are calling for protest, we must consider the atmosphere that we can lead protest and a peaceful protest. But the present atmosphere with the frustration.
Food is becoming increasingly very, very expensive and unaffordable. This call for all these issues relating to coming up to protest, of course, is a constitutional matter. You have right to protest, our young men. But the nation first. We should be patriotic. We should be nationalists.
My people, there is fire on the mountain. Wonder, they said, shall never end. Like, the fear of protest is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of hunger is understanding. Hey, look at our so-called leaders. Look at how they are running helter-skelter just because they heard that next month Nigerians are going to protest. So these people know very well what Nigerians are going through. They keep mute, pretending as if everything is okay, living their best life while Nigerians are suffering, why there is hunger in the land. So members of a House of Representatives promised Nigerians that they are going to give out 50% of their salaries within 6 months, which they promised that other people like some member of a House of Assembly and as well as Tinubu them and other people, they're going to also do the same. So right now they are looking for short-term solution, and they know very well that there is emergency in Nigeria. So if Nigeria did not talk about this protest, so all these decisions, they would have not even, care about it. And look at what is happening. So, like here, if it's in a good country that everyone is, cooperating, there is no tribal sentiment, nothing like that, and Nigerians will not come out in mass like this. Like, these people go hear them. These people go hear them. They know very well that there is division, there is this tribal sentiment, bigotry everywhere, and they're really, really benefiting from it. It's really favoring them. That's why they will do everything possible to make sure that this sentiment, this tribal sentiment, this code word between one tribe to another continues, because they know very well if Nigerians come out in mass, these people go run. Like, these people go run, honestly. So here in this particular video, they are debating, begging Nigerians to have patience, and this is what Tinubu has been saying since he entered office. I understand what you are going through. Just be patient. Since 1 year, we are still in the matter of being patient. But right now, Nigerians have decided that enough is enough. My people, despite all this begging and all this promises, like people from the north are still waxing, saying that this protest must go on. But some people are saying that this protest is going to be hijacked, because if you want to do protest, there's no need of you announcing the date and all that. But I don't really know, because Igbos have already decided they are not participating. So, but let's see how it goes anyway. So let me allow you guys to watch this particular video so that you can hear everything they said here. And please pardon my voice because I am under the weather. I'm not that strong, but I need to bring this update for you guys to watch.
So I'm going to summarize it, Mr. Speaker, that whereas the citizens of Nigeria have the constitutional right to peaceful assembly and protest to address their grievances. Mr. Speaker, whereas maintaining peace and engaging in constructive dialogue with the government is crucial for the resolution of issues facing the nation. Be it resolved by this House, this Honorable House appeals to the proponents of the proposed nationwide protest in Nigeria to consider a different path, a path of patience, dialogue, and collaboration to prioritize the line of peace and open channels of meaningful engagements with the government. Mr. Speaker, the House is further aware that the challenges we face as a nation is not so unique to Nigeria. There are issues that countries across the globe grapple with on a daily basis. In a world that is constantly changing and evolving, no nation is immune to the complexities of governance and development. The road to change is not easy, and the journey towards a brighter future often fraught with obstacles. But we must not lose sight of the incremental steps that have been taken by this government. They are the reforms that have been implemented and the strides that have been made towards a more prosperous Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, the House herefrom urges you, our fellow Nigerians, to consider the broader perspective, to act with wisdom and foresight, and to support efforts towards a more stable, secure, and prosperous Nigeria. Let us reason together. Let us listen to one another, and let us work hand in hand towards a brighter tomorrow. Be it resolved by this House of Representatives that this motion be communicated to all relevant stakeholders and the general public to promote a peaceful and constructive approach to addressing our national issues. Mr. Speaker, I so hereby submitted and moved. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the Speaker of the 10th Assembly. Dear honorable colleagues, my name is Benjamin Okezie Kalu. I represent the good people of Nigeria, starting from Ben, the Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Abia State. I rise to support this motion, all-important motion, timely motion, reasonable motion, nation-building motion. Motion that is laid on this floor with an appeal. It's only a man who is patriotic, who believes in nation building, who presents such motion. So I thank you, Honorable Isiaka, for being sensitive as a leader in Nigeria. I know many of us here are sensitive. Many of the representatives here are passionate about our country. That was why we left all the things we are doing to come to be part of a government that will grow our nation. We have a problem. It is not in doubt, Mr. Speaker. There is no member here who disagrees with the point that there is a problem in Nigeria. But also there is no representative here who doesn't believe that problems that we refer to did not just arise overnight. It's a compilation of years of difficulties that piled up. There's an agreement in our mind also that 1 year is not enough to resolve Hydra-headed problems. And as a solution hub, what we are here to do is to find the best plug to fit into the hole that will soothe the pain of Nigerians. Nigeria is bleeding, we agree. We are also Nigerians. So I want to join the prayers of this motion to speak to the people of Nigeria. You are crying is right. Your complaint of hardship is right. But is the solution found in carrying placard and lining the streets? Is the solution found in copying a country lesser than us? The references that are made today to Kenya and all the rest of them, they are smaller countries to Nigeria. We are giant of Africa. We must provide solution that is better and sustainable and lasting. That solution is not found in our children being killed on the street while protesting. It's not found in our raising placard. It's found in supporting the policies of government and understanding that these policies need time to begin to materialize. Rome was not built in a day. In 360 days, the president of this country have not rested, have not gone on jamboree, has not gone to pursue shadows. He has been deliberately, intentionally laying foundation for a nation that needs that stability. And we have been supporting, and I thank the Parliament for all the support. We have been giving support to all the policies of government with one single agenda in mind: the people, and the people. How to make our people better. And I want to say that we should support this motion, not only in this House, but in our various constituencies. Mr. Speaker, Ian Zauzau, the lover of peace, it's about time we take the message to our various constituencies and begin to appeal to them to be a little patient. Mr. President did not mince words when he said there will be difficult times, but it will not last forever. It is delayed gratification for greater gain. Let us wait a little longer. Let us not go to the streets. Hope is coming. We, your parliamentarians, are making sacrifice. Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal. Even if it means cutting our salary to help with the provision of food for our people who are hungry, I want to appeal that the House look into that. I know our salary is not much, but even if it means we did that in COVID. During COVID, we cut our salaries. We slice our salary and we help the people. This is a time that is calling for sacrifice. And I'm sure these people here are willing to make sacrifices for our people. Let them consider our appeal. Mr. Speaker, a gentleman here called me this morning, a member of the Parliament. He said, we are young parliamentarians. We want to go to appeal to Nigerians, even if it means kneeling down, asking them to be a little patient. And this parliamentarian is not from APC. This parliamentarian is from opposition party. He said, I'm young, like those who are agitating. I am on social media, like those who are agitating. But I know the effort we are making here to make the nation great. If it means kneeling down to them, we will kneel. The Parliament is calling on Nigerians. Please, bear with the government a little longer so that these policies will begin to see the light of the day. Thank you as I appeal to this House to in one voice support and be willing, if the leadership calls, for us to make sacrifices with our salary. Just a little pain for us to be able to provide food for our people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Honorable Comrade Bashir Usman Goro is my name, representing Garagwaranyo Prayer Constituency from Sokoto State. Mr. Speaker, this issue is a critical issue and it's timely for this hollow chamber to discuss this matter. I'm a young man. I'm a product of struggle. Normally in every struggle, 3C is necessary: consultation, confirmation, and confrontation. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I believe, with all honesty, the organizers of the protest, the young people that are calling for the protest, have not put necessary steps to make a confirmation or consultation from the government of the Federation and the government at all levels. In that way, Mr. Speaker, calling protest directly to the street will definitely turn down the peace and unity of our dear nation. Mr. Speaker, I'm a comrade Anytime we are calling for protest, we must consider the atmosphere that we can lead protest and a peaceful protest. But the present atmosphere with the frustration, anybody or every organization that is organizing protest is definitely undermining the peace and unity of our dear country. It is constitutional to have or to organize protest, but always you must consider the national interest above individual or group interest. Mr. Speaker, these people that are calling for protest, I believe they don't know what will be the outcome when they go ahead to call for this protest. You can call for protest, but there is always non-state actors at the back door that are waiting to hijack what you think you organize under peaceful manner. My candid appeal for the young people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is kindly cited on example of what is currently going in the continent of Africa, that there is a conspiracy of the Western world. Do not undermine what your action can cause as far as the economic prosperity, peace, and the progress of your own country. Mr. Speaker, giving a reference, far back 2009, under the aegis of African Youth and Student Association, we organized a mega rally in Sudan, trying to showcase what we believe is unacceptable policies across the African country. But at the end of the day, the protest turned out to be unpeaceful, and the Sudanese that hosted the protest bear the consequences. And now, the same issues is being championing in Kenya. The same issues is being championing in many African countries. Nigerian, always, the case is different. When we started something, we don't know where it is going to be end. So I call for my fellow young people that, yes, I'm a member of opposition extraction, but at this very critical time, it is a matter of dialogue. It is a matter of talks. This talk, consult before you take a step of confrontation. My fellow young people, understand the situation and allow the policies to strive and see where the necessary way forward. Mr. Speaker, on this note, I want to once more call on my fellow young people to please exercise one more patience to see where the policies direction of this present administration is heading to before making any further confrontation. Please consult, make confirmation before taking any further confrontation step. Thank you very much.
Thank you for yielding the floor to me again. Honorable colleagues, I remain Benjamin Okezekalo, represent the people of Nigeria, starting from the federal constituency. With your permission, the chair and honorable colleagues, I would like to amend the prayers, if the House so permits, that the members look into our salaries of, our salary is 500,000 naira. That we look at a percentage of that salary.
For point of correction, is 600.
Oh, 600, sorry. But my own doesn't get up to 600 when I receive it, sir. Maybe some deductions. But based on what you have said, Your Excellency, I'm moving that we amend that prayer to include that members sacrifice maybe 50% of our salary for a period of 3 months or 6 months to help Nigerians and to show that we are in support. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
You have to be specific. You can't say 306. Be specific.
Mr. Speaker, at least 6 months, Mr.
6
Speaker.
months. Okay. Any seconder to this amendment? Honorable Maki.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, I'm Abubakar Maki Eleman.
Yeah.
I'm from Jigawa State. I represent Malamaduru Kaugama Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion as amended by Deputy Speaker. I so second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this
Mr. Speaker,
amendment
point
should
of
say
order.
aye. Those against should say nay.
Nay!
The ayes have it.
We are facing serious challenges, and we are not alone. As highlighted earlier, this is global. The world is passing through a very difficult transition owing to issues, economic issues relating to war and displacement of people that are supposed to be actively engaged in economic activities. In Nigeria, particularly the Northwest, have been the food corridor of the nation, and the Northwest is being embedded into serious crisis of banditry and insecurity, and therefore farmers could not go to their farm to farm. This created a difficult situation where food is becoming increasingly very, very expensive and unaffordable. This call for all these issues relating to coming up to protest, of course, is a constitutional matter. You have right to protest, our young men. But the nation first. We should be patriotic, we should be nationalists. We should consider our beloved nation. So my appeal to our teeming young men out there of purpose and conscience, please and please consider your country first, Nigeria. Our leader, Asuwaju, as you see him with his demeanor and disposition, is all about coming out with programs and activities that will raise the standard of Nigerians, particularly the youth. Students have been taken care of under the issue of the student loans, and I'm sure it's going to be implemented in due course. Even on food issues, Mr. Speaker, just last week when we had the caucus meeting, we had a good news that the federal government is intervening to bring in food, so that at least the price of this food, that is a very important factor in the whole discourse, will go down and people will be able to have what to eat. But I will suggest, Mr. Speaker, that you and the leadership of the National Assembly should engage the leadership of these groups, if they are none, because we cannot deal with those that will camouflage under a hitherto legal process and create mayhem in the country. If these leaders are known, engage them for discuss, understand their plight. If it means you going around the geopolitical zones, Mr. Speaker, I think it's worth it that you move around to engage the youth and tell them the National Assembly, particularly the House of Reps, is with them in this issue, but they should consider that first they are Nigerians. And by the time they initiate something that will put the nationhood into jeopardy, they will be in for it. Everybody will be in for it. Because the issue of violence, we have seen how it started in the NSAS era. And you see how people attempted to hijack the whole process. It was only God intervention that quelled that very unfortunate situation. So, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I lend my voice to call on our teeming youth to be patient. Be patient, be patient, and be patient. The present administration under Asuwaju is committed to bringing Nigeria out of its doldrum. And inshallah, very soon, it's a matter of time, this will come to pass. But by the time now you go into trouble and we had issues, the country will go into serious challenge. You can see Sudan, where they are today. Somalia is still trying to battle. Other West African countries that are already into this doldrum are still struggling to get themselves out. So it's not the best time to protest now. Please and please be patient and stop. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much, my honorable colleagues, for the attention and the opportunity.
Thank you, Honorable. Honorable Fatima Talba.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I just want to add my voice to this very important issue. Mr. Speaker, a hungry man is an angry man. We know this. Protests normally are ways of informing the government of what people feel, particularly negative things that are happening now. We all know that. I don't know of other states, but in my state, there are houses that for good 4 or 5 days, they cook nothing, and they sleep on nothing, and they feed on nothing. People now go out to beg. Even those that are not supposed to beg now go out to beg. People use their children to go to beg, both females and males. Insecurity is increasing by day because if there is any hunger, definitely there will be violence. That's the truth of the matter. We cannot now sleep with our eyes closed. We are always sleeping with our eyes open because children or people will jump from one house to another, collecting forms, collecting funds, and taking anything they get for them to go and sell, for them to feed. Mr. Speaker, we know that Mr. President has a very good program for Nigerians. We all know that. I want to appeal to those that are instigating this protest, because I believe there are people behind this protest. It's not that people are just doing it by themselves. And I think DSS must work hard to find if they can at least be able to scout and get those people that are instigating or the leaders of these protests so that they can we can dialogue with them. Let's talk to them. There is no any meaningful achievement in any world without peaceful coexistence. And Mr. Speaker, we know that the hunger is so very much that we just have to do something about it. We cannot tell them not to come and protest when we don't tell them what we intend to do. We have to have a program. We have to tell them that really Nigeria or country is going to do something about this. Today I saw Mr. President has sent in to states 2020 trucks of rice today. Let's hope that the rice will reach the people, because normally things that go to state don't reach the common man. That's the truth of the matter. Not all the people that are targeted get what is in the market. I mean, what is brought by governors or by the states.
Talba, please can you quickly summarize?
So thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to tell you that there is a need for dialogue with the groups, and there is a need to find out the instigators and make them see reasons. And I also want to appeal to those that are coming out for the strike to please shield their swords and let there be peace. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your contribution. Doctor?
As sensitive as this motion, we have discussed extensively, appeal to the organizers of this protest, but we have not actually addressed the issue of the need for the government to do more to ameliorate the sufferings of the people. An angry man is an angry man, and there is need for the prayers too to address the side of the government. Some days ago, we were talking about the need for the government to make adequate financial provisions for most of their populations. These are some of the areas that can ameliorate the sufferings of the people. On the area of the students, a lot of students, even within their campuses, have demonstrated on the need for them to reduce or to stop the hike in the increase of school fees. And some of these things happens to fall on the deaf ear of the government because nobody is addressing their issue, not even the university communities. And generally speaking, there is need for government to do more. There is need for government to try more than what they're doing to ensure that people people's sufferings are reduced and they see them as good and leading examples by maintaining a low-key life. Because to somebody who is angry and sees a lot of people going about, those in government, with convoys of exotic cars, they will not be happy. Then there is need for proper dialogue with the laborers. So I'm sure since the last time they had discussion on the issue of minimum wage, nobody is attending to any other issues again about them. So they feel neglected. So there is need for this House to put in the prayers of these critical motions that the government should do more to ameliorate the sufferings of Nigerians. Thank you.
Kabiru Ahmadu Mepalis is my name. I represent the entire people of Gusau's IP Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Zamfara State. Mr. Speaker, I first of all want to align myself with the previous speakers. And also, Mr. Speaker, I want to make a passionate appeal to Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We all believe that he has a very good plan for this country. His policies is a long-term plan for this country, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we need a very short-term plan, considering the emergency situation we're in. We are not praying, Mr. Speaker, if we allow this protest to take place or escalate, Mr. Speaker, we don't know where it stops. Mr. Speaker, just now, we cut our salaries. Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal to executive to do so, from Mr. President to Vice President to ministers to chief executive officers of MDS and parastatals. Let's all of us cut our salaries, put the money in government copper, provide short-term solutions to this problem, Mr. Speaker. People are hungry outside, Mr. Speaker. Even if it warrants to slash the cost of petroleum, rebate back the hike of electricity, Mr. Speaker. Provide food, Mr. Speaker, for the people. If we can be able to provide these short-term plans, Mr. Speaker, I believe these young Nigerians will be ready to surrender and decline this planned protest, Mr. Speaker. This is my point, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable colleagues, sorry for supporting the position of the Deputy Speaker. I think this is the way forward for now. Thank you so much for bringing this up. I would want to recognize, right, Honorable, please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Extreme
Speaker.
men. Extreme men, yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. My name is Ngozi Okolie. I represent Aniocha Oshimili. I'm from Delta State. My dear Speaker, my dear colleagues, there is serious hunger in the land. And I think we should all come together to try to solve this problem. This has past time of politics. This has past time of blaming one person. I think the leadership of this country should please look for those people who will join hands with them to see how well we can solve the problem facing this country. There are people who have been in these positions before, and they were able to manage the problems of this country. It has past time of being proud. Let us remove pride. Let us remove selfishness and invite people who truly would help to manage the economy of this country. I know our dear president is trying his best, but he's just one single human being. I know there have been people in the past who have been able to manage or try to manage the economy as good as it is. So since we have come to this stage now, I think we should remove everything that has to do with politics and join hands to manage the economy of this country. The youths that are out there trying to protest, they are sensible people. If they see that we are giving our best to manage the economy, I think they would try to come to our side. The hardship is not in one person's house. Everybody is feeling the hardship. Those who used to drink 2 bottles of water now drink 1 bottle because they cannot afford to. Even the rich also cry. So I beg Mr. President to look for all those who can join hands. There are those like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, like even Desiani, who tried to manage the petroleum crisis when we had petroleum problem before. Anybody, no matter what you think about them, should be called upon to see how best we can contribute to build the nation's economy. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, I represent the great people of Iguano, Umuahia North, and Umuahia South. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, a lot has been said today regarding the protest. The protest, like my brother, the Deputy Speaker said, is a accumulation of bad governance that have started since 1960. And most especially in the last 24 or 25 years of uninterrupted democratic government. Mr. Speaker, if the government had been responsive to the people, to their welfare, I'm sure many Nigerians will not be exercising their constitutional right as enshrined in Section 40 of our 1999 Constitution as amended. Mr. Speaker, our nation has grown where every man must be a king in their own household. We're busy saying, wait, 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 be patient, be patient. These people are no longer patient, Mr. Speaker. We have to be honest about it. Despite the good intentions of the government of the day, people are hungry. And that hunger has led to a lot of people to high crimes and criminalities. In the Southeast is banditry, kidnapping, and assassinations. Well, Mr. Speaker, I support any plan because politics is gone, but now is for us to come together as leadership to look at the welfare of the people. Everybody's talking about the welfare of the government. What about the people? Even in this chamber, honorable members are suffering. Our staffs are suffering. So, Mr. Speaker, our youth are exercising their fundamental human rights. But in the exercise of their fundamental human rights, there should be, as well, most of them to be circumspect. You can't destroy Nigeria. We must all come together to build a more formidable Nigeria and to ask the government of the day to look into issues that have been driving so many agitations in this country. We can't just put palliative on it, Mr. Speaker. We've passed that stage in our nation. How many trucks of rice can feed 250 million people? Cutting our salary, 360 people is only 108 million. What would that do? Does it solve the problem? So we need to, in this house, as a matter of...
Honorable, please kindly summarize.
Yes, I am.
We don't have time, please.
I am. We need in this house, Mr. Speaker, under your leadership, to come together to find solutions for unity, to come together, find solutions for prosperity, and to be attentive to the agitations of our people, to be able to sort it out and to nip it in the bud, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for yielding the time.
Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Akitunde Rotimi Jr., I represent the good people of Ekiti North 1, federal constituency comprising the Ikole and Oyo local governments. Mr. Speaker, I would not go over what our honorable colleagues have discussed already. I just want to point out that, Mr. Speaker, you preside over a house that has 8 political parties, the first time in the history of the Fourth Republic. And we can see that we have a multi-partisan consensus in the house today, that we empathize with Nigerians and what Nigerians are going through. We understand that they have a right to dissent and to demand answers from government. But at the same time, we are appealing to Nigerians that they give us a chance to allow all of the reforms that are going on to be able to take root. But Mr. Speaker, there is one thing that I just want to propose, an amendment to the motion, which is to have the National Orientation Agency, Mr. Speaker, to respond to the demands. There is actually a list of demands that were made, 12 demands. And many of these things, Mr. Speaker, are issues that need some enlightenment for people to be able to know about what government is doing already. Dissent is an important part of any democratic society. People respond and resort to street-level protests when they feel they are not being heard, when they feel they are not being sufficiently engaged. So, yes. So, Mr. Speaker, I would want to propose an amendment to that motion, an additional prayer, to have the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning and also the National Orientation Agency to collaborate, look at those 12 demands, and sit down and address Nigerians on what some of those things are doing. The last point I'd like to raise, Mr. Speaker, you remember, Mr. Speaker, that you raised when we had the power summit.
If you look at the subject matter,
yes, sir.
Does it have any correlation with the amendment you are bringing? That
yes, Mr. Speaker, because these protests that we're talking about, they have a list of demands. Well, at least we've seen, sir, from the reason we are even debating this at all is because what they've brought, they might be faceless, but they've brought something to the public. There's a viral list of demands. So I think that at least we have the benefit of history to guide us on this. When we had NSAS as well, there were also lists of demands. Mr. Speaker, these are things that I think even within Parliament, through your very consultative and inclusive way of leading the people's house, these are some of the issues you've addressed. When we had the power summit, Mr. Speaker, you also in your policy statement, you made that statement that we would have legislative action to ensure that power increase, review of tariffs that affect the lives of Nigerians goes through a consultative process as against just being announced and taking everybody unawares. So these are some of the issues that I think that Nigerians just need to hear from government. The reason people would resort to street-level protests is because they feel they are not being heard. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. So you have moved for an amendment, right? So any seconder? Yes, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, Yusuf Shitu Galambi is my name. I represent Gwaram Federal Constituency and I'm from Jigawa State. I stand to second the additional prayer that is proposed by Honorable Rotimi. Mr. Speaker, I so second.
Those in support of this amendment should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it.
We'll continue to give the government that kind of support to continue to do the right thing, Mr. Speaker. While we are doing that, sir, we must also plead with Nigerian people, like the Deputy Speaker has rightly said, to exercise a little patience. I am of the opinion, Mr. Speaker, that 12 years in a journey of about 12 months, in a journey of about 48 months, is too early for us to rush into taking these kind of actions. You should not be misled by whatever action or inaction going on in some neighboring countries. Whatever it is, the consequences of such actions, even in those countries, are not proud actions. You don't have proud results. So it's only when we can be able to bring things on the table, discuss them on the table, and be sure that we can resolve them in the overall interest of Nigerians that we can be able to make it. Mr. Speaker, I want you to continue to explore means in your relationship with the executive government, with the executive arm of government, as the leader of this House, to continue to look at those aspects where things can be made better for Nigerian people. Mr. Speaker, we cannot also be deterred from looking at the fact that we may have some undertones under the so-called alleged protest, national protest. Those undertones may, one way or the other, be having what we call political motivation. I want to believe that when you are talking of hunger, when you are talking of when you are fighting for prosperity, you are talking for national unity and development. Sometimes you have to do a little away with political interests and political motives. We must face ourselves, do the right thing without necessarily imputing unnecessary political motives. And in this regard, Mr. Speaker, I want to say without any fear of contradiction that while we will continue to encourage the government to continue to employ the use of the carrot, but the government must also be firm and stand on standby, not to discard the stick. Use the carrot approach to assuage people, support them, address issues and hardships, but the stick must not be discarded. Because where we find issues, or you have issues with people who have sinister motives to undermine the success of the present-day government, then definitely the stick will come in to address that situation. Mr. Speaker, I want to finally say that being a religious country, a country that is proudly Muslim and Christian people, we are proud of our two religions, that we call on our people to continue to support the government in authority, so that we will also answer the call of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where he says clearly in the Holy Quran, Ya ayyuhal lazina amanu, adiullah wa adiu rasula wa ulul amri minkum. Which simply means everyone as a faithful is expected to be loyal to authorities, to be loyal to those who are in authorities, because those in authorities are what we call representatives of God on earth, and will continue to do justice to our people as time goes forward. I want to thank you once again for giving me the opportunity. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you, Honorable.
So, my people, that is it. I hope you guys had everything they said here, which some of them made a valid point, yes. But this last speaker really got me laughing when he said that your representatives are just like your God. Oh my God. So that is it, my people. So make I bring this update to you guys. I hope you truly enjoy watching. Please, if today is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, share it as well. Thank you everyone for watching. I'm going to see you guys in my next update. Goodbye for now.